of the things that actually, what's it called, when we listen to you is that you're diverse in terms of your thinking, in terms of your perspective in life. How exactly do you keep up? Because let's say entrepreneurship has actually changed over the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Digital coming into place,
Yes.
Facebook, YouTube and everything. What exactly is your take on the new particular digital world and the new way of doing business?
I try not to be left behind. It's difficult. It's difficult, but I try not to be left behind. As innovation begins to evolve and society begins to evolve, you can either scream at the darkness or you can light a candle. You can either get with the program or be left out of the narrative. For us, technology is a paradigm shift for which you cannot ignore. If you're going to do business in America, if you're going to buy groceries, if you're going to get a plane ticket, you have to do it through a computer. And so you have to be somewhat computer literate in order to stay relevant and to stay involved. And then I have good people around me who also keep me informed, who are experts in different areas, and to rely on their expertise, because sometimes when you're the boss, you want to be the smartest person in the room, but that's not really good. You want to surround yourself with people who are experts in their area and listen at their counsel, whether you implement it or not. I still want to hear what you think about a thing, and I come into the room as a student. I leave as a professor.
That's nice. And I want to touch about mentorship. I know it's a very key element for everybody to become successful. For every successful person, I know there's someone who actually has a hand in it. In your particular life, do you have mentors who have actually stood with you over a period of time? And what exactly is your perspective on mentorship in any entrepreneurial journey?
I think you need different mentors for different parts of your life. The mentor that speaks into my life as a husband, as a father, is totally different from the person who speaks into my life as a business person or as an orator. And to draw from the wells of different streams of consciousness is very important in order to be holistic and well-rounded. Mentorship is important, and we talk about that a lot. What we don't talk about is modeling. You can have mentorship, but if you haven't had models of what you're trying to do, you're trying to build something that you haven't seen, it's hard to be what you didn't see. So once you see it modeled in front of you, it becomes a lot easier to do it. And that's a part of mentorship that I think we don't discuss as much as we should.
Growing up, who exactly do you want to model yourself to be?
Well, I think as a little boy, I was awed by Dr. King. Martin Luther King. And I think I was awed by him from a child's perspective because my father was. And to see my father that impressed about something another man did, I looked at the television, I looked at my father, and I thought, wow, look at what one man did with the microphone. He opened his mouth and changed the world. Nelson Mandela opened his mouth and changed the world. When you look at people like that, Corrie ten Boom opened her mouth and changed the world. When you look at people like that from every sphere of existence, how powerful they were, it caused me to have a deep appreciation for the ability to be able to articulate thought.
And I was reading your book, Instinct. I really loved the book.
Thank you.
And one of the things that I actually walked away with was that a phrase you actually mentioned on the book, feed that which feeds you.
Yes.
Expound.
How much time do you have? Nature teaches us. Nature survives through an ecosystem that is based on the water that goes up, comes back down again. God doesn't have to recreate rain because he has a system of recycling. The leaves fall from the tree, it feeds the ground so that the ground can feed the roots. The reciprocity is important. It is only humans that walk away from what is feeding us. And when you break that cycle, you break something that's very important. Sometimes we start feeding things that we want to impress other people, but to feed what's feeding you is to invest the greatest time into the things that are actually feeding you financially, spiritually, emotionally, in every area of your life. Anything you neglect to feed will wither, no matter how strong it was. Your inability to reciprocate will end the relationship. Reciprocity is so important for anything you want to sustain.
And the final question I'd like to ask you is in terms of just give it a word of encouragement to every entrepreneur out there. I host a show in the entrepreneurial ecosystem, and some people want to get into business, but they don't know how, or maybe they don't know how exactly to go about it. What word of advice would you give?
First thing I want to say to every young entrepreneur out there is, one, I'm rooting for you. I want to see you win.
You're for the youth.
Yes, yes, I am. I'm very strongly for them because I have been them. I relate to them and I understand them. And then I want them to understand it's supposed to be hard. I don't think we teach that. I think that we see people once they have arrived and we say, I want to be that, but we didn't see them struggle. So when we say, I want to be that, and we run into struggles, we say something is wrong and we quit. But nobody got to be who they were without struggle. So if you understand that the struggle is a part of success, it's not a detour from success. It is the struggle that builds up the strength in you to be able to stand the weight of success, because even if you are successful, success brings weight.
Yeah.
It brings pressure, it brings anxiety, it brings criticism. And so it is the struggle that really gets you in shape to be able to manage all of the blowback that comes from you being successful.
And what should people expect from you from this Soul Conference?
Oh, I think they're going to get the T.D. Jakes that they know, but just a different aspect of him, as opposed to just hearing me preach, which is great motivation. But if you motivate people and then they never see it materialize in their life, they get tired of hearing you say it's going to be all right. This is where we put substance and sustenance behind that hope. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. So if you can give people hope, that's good. I do that on Sunday morning. But then on Monday, I'm giving them the tools that are necessary to see their dreams materialize. And that means sweat, and that means work, and that means disappointment, and that means resilience, getting back up again. And the equity that you get, not only from success, but from failure, there is a certain equity that comes into you, an endurance that comes into you, a tenacity that comes into you. I've learned more from my failures than I have my successes. I've learned what not to do. I've learned who not to trust. I've learned where not to go. And those are classes that are very important, so that when the full weight of success sits on you, there are certain things that you know not to do.
Wow. I highly appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
On the Hustle Hangout this week, we feature Faisal Hanif, who's the proprietor of Palette Cafe based in Lavington, Nairobi. The interesting thing about the business is that it only employs a phone staff of persons with a hearing impairment.
Hello everyone, my name is Faisal Hussain, Palette Cafe founder. Welcome to Palette. When I was starting the business, I was actually thinking of helping be on the human side, right? And giving opportunity to people, right? So I included in my business plan to have disability people. And then I look around and I was thinking, whom can I help that can actually suit this industry, which is hospitality. So in my mind, just came up quickly, and it was disability, but more on hearing impairing people. So giving them the opportunity, I thought it actually suits them in this sector of business. I think the business is entrepreneurs are the guys who should be actually taking this point as a very strong one, because you're the one who is making the last decision making, right, in your organization. So let's help human, let's help people who are surrounded to you, that you know that they need you. So that's the right point, and the right person to do that is entrepreneurs. Humanitarians, I can say, I'm very sorry to say this, but they're being guided by policies, which is written by someone who's not actually on the site. So sometimes you're being guided, something like this, you can do things that you want to do it. So I again say, entrepreneurs, especially the Kenyans, let's help each other. Let's help each other. Don't wait for someone else to come from somewhere else and does the help for you. Do it for yourself. The little you have, share with it. And then again, blessings are there. So you'll be blessed if you help the neighbor.
Thanks so much for having watched the show. Hope you've learned a thing or two from my conversation with T.D. Jakes. So keep on tweeting. The hashtag is KTN Business Coach, at Ian Dennis Network, at KTN Kenya, to keep the conversation going. If you're an entrepreneur out there and you'd like to be a part of the show, look, we're always here for you. Reach us on our social media handles that are running below the screen. And also remember, each and every Wednesday to grab a copy of The Standard to read the Hustle magazine, where I usually write the Business Coach column. And also remember, the Business Coach column at the Business Coach website is already up. So all you need to do is just check out businesscoach.co.ke. My name is Ian Dennis, and this has been the Business Coach, where we help entrepreneurs better their businesses.
Here are events to take note of. On the 20th of September, there's a Money Mastermind happening at Ramco Court, Mombasa Road from 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. On 19th September, there's a grassroots entrepreneurship summit happening at Kenyatta University from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. On 20th September, there's a Perfecting Your Entrepreneurial Skills happening at KTDA Moi Avenue from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you like your event mentioned or the business coach to be a part of your event, feel free to reach us on our social media handles.